So recently I did a podcast where I interviewed Ivy Zelman, the famous and superb housing analyst. And for those of you who didn't see it, I'm going to give you 5 takeaways. So the first one is, why is it so difficult for people to afford to buy homes? And the answer is that, for reasons that we'll get into in a second, housing affordability is above trend line. Mortgage rates are higher than they have been. And it's just difficult for people to afford to buy homes, no matter where you are in the country. Number 2, the impact of interest rates on housing affordability just cannot be overstated. And part of the issue is that during COVID, rates collapsed. And 75% of all homeowners have a mortgage that is less than 5%. Many of them have mortgages in the 3s. So the existing home market is actually locked, because if you're going to buy a home from someone, you're going to get a 6 to 7% mortgage, but they have a 3 to 5% mortgage, and you just can't afford their house. Number 3 was a question that I asked her at the beginning, which is, what's the difference between the way home builders are run today versus how they were run pre-crisis, when they all blew up? And the answer is that, number 1, they've become much more professionally run. They're better run. They're more efficient. But more importantly was, pre-crisis, almost all home builders, with the exception of NVR, would go out and buy land. And they would buy land like drunken sailors. And so their balance sheets were loaded up with very illiquid parcels of land all over the country. And that got them into trouble when housing prices and land prices collapsed during the great financial crisis. Today, the best home builders don't go out and buy land. What they do is they option it. They pay an option to a land owner, a land bank owner. And so the balance sheets are much more liquid, and they only exercise the option when it becomes closer to time to actually build on the land. Number 4, I asked her a question about affordability. Why is it just so hard for home builders to build homes that are affordable for most Americans? And the answer to this question is that regulation for housing in the United States is local, local, local. And for home builders to build homes that more Americans could afford, they'd have to build smaller homes, let's say 1,500 to 1,600 square feet. But many communities have zoning laws that prevent any home builder from building homes that small. And finally, Ivy Zelman would not recommend buying the group. She thinks that we have affordability issues, rates are too high, and what you're seeing amongst the home builders is, to get business done, they are providing massive incentives to buyers by buying down their mortgage rates because they have their own internal mortgage companies. And that's going to hurt margins. And by the way, the spring selling season, which is a very important season for the home builders, has been quite weak. So that's what I learned from Ivy. But I would recommend for you to watch the entire podcast and stay tuned to future podcasts for the Eisman Playbook. Thank you so much for tuning in. For video episodes of this podcast, head over to our YouTube channel. If you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure to follow the show so you never miss a new episode. And if you got something out of today's conversation, we'd love for you to leave us a 5-star review. It helps us reach more listeners just like you. For links to our website, social media, and to sign up for our newsletter, please check out the show notes of today's episode. On that note, I'm Steve Eisman. I'll see you on our next episode. A quick disclaimer, nothing on this podcast should be considered an investment or investment advice. Guests and their hosts may have positions in any of the stocks mentioned in this podcast. Please do your own work and consult an investment advisor. This podcast is produced by Collier Landry for Don't Touch My Radio and Steve Cohn for Next Horizon Media. Copyright Stephen Eisman, Farseer LLC.